Yo, what's up? It's your boy Serrano. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at my Google Pixel Fold that I have been using for about 3 weeks. I can't believe it's been, that much time since I've been using it, but time has been flying by with this device because it's just been a joy to use. So I want to talk about my experiences of using it over the last 2 weeks and going through the battery life as well as the cameras and also the performance. And we're going to jump into the build quality as well. But if you're brand new to the channel, I truly appreciate you for coming through and kicking it with me. Do me a quick solid. Make sure you stay locked into the end of the video so you don't miss anything that I'm talking about when it comes to this device. But I wanted to go into a little bit of detail without making this video too long. But I truly appreciate you for coming through. If you're new, make sure you subscribe and get notified for more videos just like this. But if you're already a part of the crew, salute. So let's just jump into a quick audio test. I want you guys to get a quick audio sample of what the Google Pixel Fold sounds like. So listen to this quick audio sample coming out of the dual speakers on this device. So when it comes to the speakers on this device, it does give you a nice punch. It does sound pretty decently loud, but once you go outdoors, it's going to be hard for this device to actually compete with phones like Samsung when it comes to the speaker department. And I think that's because Samsung has that Dolby Atmos signature audio quality, which actually makes it a lot more, increases the sound quality, also makes it a little bit more loud. And it gives you full customization over the sound. So this device doesn't have, Dolby Atmos. It doesn't have, built-in, sound amplifier. It just running off of the speakers from the hardware. And for the speakers on here, it does sound pretty good when it comes to phone calls, taking phone calls on here. The headpiece right here where you put the earpiece where you put your ear definitely gets loud enough when you put the phone up to your ear. A lot of the times I do just talk on speakerphone unless I'm like in public places, or I'll just put some earbuds in. But for the most part, when I'm watching media content on this device and, listening to music or just watching YouTube videos every now and then, I did notice that this device does, suit the bill. It doesn't, disappoint when it comes to the sound quality. So it does get loud enough when I hear the phone ringing. I never really miss a phone call because I can hear it from another room, and it definitely gets loud enough. So I definitely think the audio quality is really good on the Google Pixel Fold. Now, talking about the overall build quality of this device, and if I was to do like, I'm saying like an analogy, this thing would be like a Meg Thee Stallion, or like a Iggy Azalea, because it has a sick body to it. The build quality on here is just very solid. It's a thick, chunky one, but it's also very slim. So I actually have a matte screen protector on the inside and on the back, on the both sides right here. And obviously you get that double tap to flashlight, but the matte screen protector actually prevents glare from happening on here. When you open it up, I noticed that the crease right here in the middle, if you're looking at it in certain angles, when you're looking at the display, it will give you like a line of light in the middle. So that's why I have the anti-glare screen protector on here with the matte finish on this. And so I definitely think that's going to help out. It also has a really soft touch to it. So I did install that to actually, give me a better feel to the touch when I'm using it on the outside and the inner, part of this phone. And on the Hinge, it also does have that matte screen protector as well. So I did do that. I actually always keep a case on here, but as far as the build quality, it's really solid. You get on the bottom, you have this like glossy aluminum material, and you can see that there's no gap. When it comes to the Hinge just actually when you clap it shut, let me show you, it just has a satisfying sound to it every single time. Also, the buttons feel really sturdy and they have a nice click to them. I think that's like a signature when it comes to Google phones, is the buttons and stuff like that. The power button actually is going to be a fingerprint sensor. And then you do get facial recognition on this device, which actually works really fast on the outside display. When you actually open it up and you go to use facial recognition on here, it actually doesn't give you facial recognition on the inside. So maybe they'll upgrade that with an update. I also did notice an update coming in on here as well. So I'm going to take a look at that in some more detail. But the build quality is really sturdy. I actually really like the build quality. It's going to offer you a really beautiful panel. And outdoors, I didn't really run into any issues when it came to looking at it. Obviously, it's not going to be the brightest screen in the entire world, but it will be pretty decent. Looking at it in direct sunlight, you might have to take off your sunglasses just so you can get that extra viewing angle for it, because the tinted sunglasses will kind of distort the screen, making it look a little bit darker than what it really is. So you know what I mean? So the display does, it was suitable. When I went to the beach and stuff like that, I was able to see it under my umbrella. When I went out into the direct sunlight, you know what I mean, at peak hours when the sun was beaming, that's when it was a little bit difficult to see. But for the most part, I didn't struggle whatsoever. I also really like the outer display of this device. I find myself using this quite often. But when I actually go to watch a movie like social media, Netflix, Amazon Prime on here, or any multimedia, I actually like looking at it in tablet mode. I even like, when I'm typing, putting it in the tabletop mode. And when I put it in the tabletop mode, I like to type like with the bigger keyboard right here, because it extends out into a bigger keyboard and it gives you that really nice feel to it, almost like a sidekick from back in the day without the physical buttons. But it has that vibe to it where it just feels really nice when you're actually texting just like this. So that's my favorite way to text, because the keyboard gets extended out on the bottom, and the build quality is really nice. It does have that camera hump on the back. So when you actually put it flat on the cameras, which I wouldn't recommend, because it's not gonna be even on the surface. Well, actually, it's gonna be at an angle, so it's gonna be like kind of slanted, which it doesn't really bother me whatsoever. But you don't want to put it flat unless you have a case, because those cameras are gonna scratch. So far, I've been good just because I haven't done that. That's why I put the matte screen protectors on here to prevent scratches. But on the front, I did get a nasty scratch, and you might be able to see that, you might not. It's kind of hidden underneath my screen protector. You can see that little line right there. I don't know if you can see it or make it out, but build quality on here is actually pretty solid. We're getting Gorilla Glass Victus, so that's actually, it's okay. It's a strong glass as far as drops, but when it comes to scratches, those scratches are fingernail deep. So I put the matte protector on here, and I haven't had any issues after that. I've also been rocking a case on it for the most part, just because I don't trust myself using it outdoors. But when I use it inside, I always take the case off just so I could feel that nice matte material. So I definitely like the build quality on here. And when it comes to the performance on this device, it's like, think of like, like a high-end Mustang, or I don't know, what's a really powerful car, but just not the highest performance car. So it's going to align up with like a Lexus or a Mercedes, but it's not going to be like a Maserati or like a Beamer or a Bentley, you know what I'm talking about? So it's got, it does have the SIM remover tool on the bottom, the Type-C for charging, and the charging, it's not the fastest in the world. That's one of the things that might, get annoying for you, because it's only going to give you 25 watts fast charging. They say 30, but it doesn't really charge like impressively quick. It charges reasonably quick, but not impressively quick. So it's just, it's going to take about an hour and a half to fully charge the battery on here. You do get wireless charging. And so if you're charging it overnight, I would recommend using a wireless charging. But if you're in a hurry to top up very quickly, I wouldn't recommend using that during the day, just overnight when you want to charge the phone, right? So build quality is solid. The performance is really good. You can definitely game on here, and that's one of my favorite things, because all the games tend to look really beautiful on the on the inside display. When you open it up and you start gaming on here, that's when you're going to really be able to enjoy this device, because they all fill up the screen. Every single game that I was using filled up the screen, and with the clicky buttons and everything like that, and the nice hardware, it does feel really good. It's not a one-handed phone. I'm struggling right now to hold it in one hand, and one of the things you're going to notice is that when you compare it to like a Z Fold 5, the Z Fold 5 is a one-handed phone for the most part. So that's kind of the difference between this and that, and also the wider display and the shorter height on here is going to be a lot different. So this thing is like a unicorn, because there's no other phones like it. It's one of a kind. Is a synopsis of this video. This thing is one of a kind when it comes to the performance and the build quality. So it's got that Gen 2 processing chip, the Tensor 2 with the M2 security on here. A lot of people don't mention the M2 security on here, but this thing has really good security. It's also going to have that Google looking menus on here, which I do like. I do kind of like this. It has those bubbly icons. I kind of, it's probably my second favorite software, Samsung being my most favorite. But this device does have 128 gigabytes of internal storage. It does have some really good RAM, as I think it has like 12 gigabytes of RAM on this. And so you're going to get really good performance when it comes to using it. But sound quality is really good. It's not the best, but it's good. And then, the display is really nice just to play around with. So it's like a unicorn, one of a kind when it comes to this form factor. And that's kind of one of the things that's appealing about it, is that it's just different. Whenever a phone is different from the rest, it just stands out, and it kind of just piques your interest. And I think that's one of the most compelling things about the Google Pixel Fold, right? Now, it does have a really heavy weight to it. It is 283 grams of weight. And so I got used to it. It doesn't feel heavy to me anymore. When you throw a case on here, it will kind of increase the weight to it, make it a little bit more bulky, make it a little bit more chunky. Like it's got that Beyonce body, that really beautiful body. And it's really nice to look at. So that's kind of a metaphor when it comes to, analyzing this device as far as the build quality, but good viewing angles, good performance, good security. The battery is actually good too, because now that I'm looking at the battery, I'm at 19%. I actually woke up at like 7 a.m. and right now it's 10 p.m. And when it comes to the screen on time, I'm looking at this app right here that I've been gauging my battery with, and it says that I have 5 hours and 51 minutes of screen on time. So about 6 hours of screen on time with this device, which is actually pretty decent after I've been using the device. It says here for a day, but it says I've been averaging 4 hours and 55 minutes of screen on time. So it seems like the battery is actually getting better through time with that AI algorithm for the battery. So it's got that battery learning, which is basically going to be optimized over time. So it's just going to get better through the time I've been using it. So that's why I wanted to wait 2 weeks to talk about the battery, because it's gotten a lot better. But multitasking on here, you're going to be able to use 2 windows at one single time. That is actually pretty fun to use. It doesn't have the floating windows. I kind of wish Google implemented another version of floating windows like Samsung has, where you can just pop open a window and put it in the middle versus putting it on the left or the right, just popping it and doing like a overlay over the screen. But for the most part, it's really enjoyable experience. You really enjoy this device, whether it be using it on the outer display or the inner. And so the battery life is going to get you through a whole day. It's like I said, 10 p.m. right now, and I've been using it since 7 a.m. So it's been a full day of, using it. And social media is actually really nice on here. Scrolling, you get the 120 hertz refresh rate, which makes it really nice. So overall, I'm really impressed with this device. Overall, you do get a decent amount of storage on here. I wish it kind of had 512, but I have the 128 version. I think you can get upgrade to the 512 version, but there's no like discounts for that. You just got to pay to play. And so after 2 weeks of using this device, I can definitely say it's one of a kind. When it comes to the cameras, that's going to be one of the most satisfying things that you're going to use on this device. Really steady recording, really great image quality when it comes to the detail and the photography, astrophotography, and overall AI computational photography is going to be really nice. You also get night mode, which is definitely going to be solid on here. You know, the cameras just have a really nice feel to them. 4K 60 and 4K 30, 1080 60, 1080 30. You don't get as many modes as you would on like a Samsung, because Samsung gives you like portrait video and, you know, pro video mode. This is more of like a phone anybody could pick up and just enjoy right out of the box. Obviously you could do selfies with the switch screens right here. You can switch the screens around, and now I could use my outer camera to as a viewfinder, so I could take selfies with it, and I could just hold the phone like this and it'll let me take selfies with it. So I definitely think that's a pretty solid feature. You get long exposure, you get portrait mode, you get some really nice modes. The phone does get warm when using it outdoors for long periods of time sometimes, but right now it's actually pretty cool to the touch, and it's gotten better with the thermals. Like over time, at first it was kind of scary hot. Now it's comfortable. It's a comfortable feel in the hand most of the time. But that about wraps it up for this video. But if you're still here, just type down below I'm still here, so I know you're still kicking it with me. I just want to remind you to hit the like button so we can boost the engagement on this video, and make sure you stay locked in for more videos just like this, and I'll get right back with you later, crew. Peace.